2. Temeljni gospodarski problemi i pitanja. 2. Temeljni gospodarski problemi i pitanja. Naučit ćete koji su temeljni gospodarski problemi, što je oportunitetni trošak, što su ekonomska dobra, koja su 3 temeljna gospodarska pitanja, što je učinkovitost, efikasnost. 1. Temeljni gospodarski problemi. Od svojih znanstvenih početaka ekonomija izučava različite probleme pred kojima se svako društvo nalazi. Temeljne ekonomske doktrine, s kojima smo se u prvom poglavlju upoznali, uglavnom su bile usmjerene na rješavanje pojedinih gospodarskih pitanja i problema. Rješavanje oskudica, postizanje blagostanja i bogatstva itd. Zatvorena zagrada, točka. U suvremenim gospodarstvima prevladava nekoliko temeljnih problema. Ograničenost dobara, učinkovitost, oportunitetni trošak. Njihovo prevladavanje i rješavanje ovisi o tome kako će se zadovoljiti 3 temeljna gospodarska pitanja. Što, kako i za koga proizvoditi. A. Ograničenost dobara. Globalno se gospodarstvo, kao i sva nacionalna gospodarstva, susreće s ograničenošću dobara s jedne i neograničenošću ljudskih potreba i želja s druge strane. Ograničenost možemo definirati kao stanje oskudice ekonomskih dobara. Da bi se oskudica nadvladala ili umanjila, čovjek i društva teže privređivanju, koje možemo definirati kao svjesnu ljudsku djelatnost kojom se nastoji smanjiti ograničenost dobara. Dobro možemo definirati kao stvar ili uslugu koja ima korisna svojstva i može zadovoljiti neku potrebu.
Uštedite 20 do 65% na odabranim toplunima i jastucima za spavanje. Hist, Scandinavian Sleeping and Living.
Speak fluent Italian in 60 days with me, your AI tutor. I am your personal language tutor. Available.
Natural resources are the raw inputs used to manufacture and produce all of the products in the world. These resources are found in the earth, including those extracted and those that have yet to be extracted. Commodities are either renewable or non-renewable. Renewable resources are those whose supply is infinite, such as solar power, while non-renewable ones have a limited supply and can no longer be used once the supply has been exhausted, like fossil fuels. Natural resources are found throughout the world and extracted for human use. Natural resources are valuable to the countries where they are found, as they are extracted to produce goods and services. Every product on the market is made using a commodity. As such, they are very valuable, providing income and revenue for governments and corporations. Welcome to Details in Luxury. Here are the top countries with the most natural resources and their total estimated value. Number 9. Iraq. Like other Gulf states, Iraq's major resources are the deposits of oil that are measured up to 115 billion barrels. These deposits share approximately 9% of the world's total reserves. Because of the political influx and differences, most of the reserves are yet to be exploited and are left untapped. Iraq also happens to be a country with vast deposits of phosphate rocks, calculated at about $1.1 trillion. Number 8. Australia. Australia, being a self-sufficient state, obtains most of its wealth coming from its huge reserves of coal, copper, timber, and iron. Australia has an ample supply of gold, contributing to 14.3% of the global supply. It also accounts for 46% of the supply of uranium worldwide. It also has a huge and vast reservoir of natural gas present offshore, sharing few of them with Indonesia. Number 7. Brazil. Brazil is one of the countries with a sizable portion of gold and uranium reservoirs. It's the second most iron-producing country. The most valuable natural resource is the timber. It supplies almost 12.3% of the world's timber, worth about $17.45 trillion. The total cost of all the natural resources this country owns is almost $21.8 trillion. The country has recently explored the vast deposits of crude oil and is estimated to reach up to 44 billion barrels. Number 6. China. China is considered as one of the emerging superpowers of this century. It has total reserves worth $23 trillion. This country is highly rich in coal and earthly minerals. The total coal deposits in China cover 13% of the world's total coal reserves. Shale gas reservoirs are recently discovered in the country, which are going to add up the revenue generation for the country. Number 5. Iran. Being in the same region, Iran shares the richest reserves of gas fields with Qatar. Therefore, the total amount of natural resources is worth almost $27.3 trillion. The country has 16% of the world's natural gas deposits. It resides over the Great Persian Gulf's vast dome of gas reservoirs. Almost 136.2 billion barrels of reserves are currently present in the country, more than 10% of the total oil in the world. Number 4. Canada. $33.2 trillion is the total cost of the country's reserves of natural resources. The total oil sands deposits have led Canada to stand fourth in the list. The latest statistics reveal that the country has 178.1 billion barrels, accounting for 17.8% of the total global reserves of oil, highest after Saudi Arabia. Canada also has huge reserves of phosphate and has the second largest deposits of uranium and the third largest production rate of timber. Number 3. Saudi Arabia. The crown of the Middle Eastern states and the heart of the Muslim world, Saudi Arabia stands third on the list, as it has natural resources and their reserves that are worth up to $34.4 trillion. Almost 20% of the total oil in the world comes from the land of Arab. Hydrocarbons, including oil and gases, are the prime sources of power generation in the country. Currently, the Arabian state is termed as the country with the 5th largest amount of proven natural gas reservoirs. Number 2. United States. Next to Russia comes the contemporary superpower of the world, the United States. The total cost of natural resources is equal to approximately $45 trillion. 31.2% of the Earth's coal reserves are under the soils of the U.S. Timber and coal deposits combine to a worth of 89% of the country's resources. The U.S. is among the top 5 states that are rich in reserves of gold, copper, and natural gas. This country is also blessed with 750 million acres of land covered with forests, able to produce a huge amount of timber. Number 1. Russia. One of the former superpowers of the world, Russia has the largest share of natural resources in the world. Due to its vast size, it covers most of the coal, timber, and gold reserves. The second largest deposit of coal is found in Russia, whereas it has the third largest reservoir of gold in the world. The total amount of natural resources found in Russia is estimated up to a worth of $75.5 trillion. Here is a list of the leading countries worldwide based on natural resources. The estimated value of these natural resources makes an economy flourish. The main proportion of the growth of an economy comes through the natural resources. Therefore, these are very much essential for a country and can be termed as the backbone of a country's economy. That concludes our list of the countries with the most natural resources. Before you go, hit the like button, subscribe.
Drugi, temeljna gospodarska pitanja. U svakom obliku
Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, welcome to Economics with Mr. Sin. Today on the Mr. Sin channel, we're going to be looking at the 3 basic economic questions that every society has to answer. We'll also be going into a couple different types of goods and services. So sit back, relax, and let's figure out what the 3 basic economic questions are. Before we start, I just want to put out another reminder about the guided notes. You can find them in the description below. The guided notes go right along with this video, and they help you take notes on the important concepts that we'll go over. This way you can understand everything we talk about, and when you need to go take your test or quiz, you don't have to rewatch the video. You can just check your notes. So make sure to use those while watching this video. Now, enough of me talking about random things. Let's get into the three basic economic questions. The three basic economic questions are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Every single society has to figure out how to answer these questions. They all do it in different ways, and there's no one correct answer. Each culture and society has a different idea of what these answers should be. So we'll be getting into how other countries answer them later on. Right now, we're just going to focus on these questions, starting off with our first one of what to produce. The society has to decide what they should produce. It's a pretty simple question, yet it's difficult. Should we as a country spend more money on social programs or the military? Should we be able to support more agriculture or industrial, or should we support the tech industry? What should we produce as a society? What do people want? What do they not want? All these different things are important questions for us to answer. And it comes down to two types of goods and services. Now, goods are things that can be used to produce something, or maybe you buy. Now, there's a bunch of different goods that we'll get into in this class. Right now, we're just going to define a couple. And these will be important for you to understand right now. The first one is a capital good. Capital goods are goods that are used to produce things. They're used by businesses. So if I ran a store and I used an iPad to create my sales, my inventory, if I used it to email my customers and to set up the schedule, I'm using that to produce. It's a capital good. At the same time, an iPad could be a consumer good. Maybe I just want one and I go to the Apple store and purchase one for myself. That would be a consumer good. The other two types of goods that we'll get into right now are durable and non-durable. And the names kind of give it away. A durable good lasts longer than 3 years, while a non-durable good will last less than 3 years. So these are the different types of goods you'll have to know right now. Hopefully they make sense. The other thing that we'll get into is services. Services are another type of economic product. Now, this economic product can't be touched. It's intangible. They are tasks that are performed by people. Examples of this would be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, police officers. All these are different services that society needs. And so there is an economic output there and a production, but it's not a good that you can physically touch. So hopefully that makes sense for services and the types of goods. Now we're going to get more into our economic questions. So we just talked about goods and services, and we talked about what to produce. And the only reason why we have to figure out what to produce is because of the fundamental economic problem. If you don't remember what that is, check out my video. You can click the card in the top right corner to go see it. Now we're on to how to produce, though. And how to produce may seem simple, but there's a lot of things that could go into it. Let's say I'm opening a business in an area that has high unemployment. Well, maybe it would be better for me to produce my product by human labor instead of automation. Because with high unemployment, there's a lot of people that need jobs. And it might be cheaper for me in the short run, at least, to use labor instead of machines. Or at the same time, maybe there's tax incentives. Or maybe that there is no unemployment and everyone's working. So if I'm going to open a store, it would be really expensive and hard for me to find labor. So automation would be better. All these questions go into figuring out how we should produce our product. At the same time, too, it depends on what we want our mission to be, if we want a certain perception, and all these things would factor into how to produce. The next economic question is for whom to produce. After we know what to produce and how to produce, you will have to figure out for who are you producing. Now, this is a hard question. All of these questions are hard, yet they seem so simple. Companies spend millions of dollars trying to figure these out. Think about it this way. If you're building a home, there's a lot you have to know. If you're trying to sell to people in the community, you want to make sure you know what's the average income there. What house can they afford? What features do they want? What colors do people like there? What size of yard do they want? All these questions need to be answered for you to create the perfect home for your target audience. Even the age range, the demographics, all these things are important for you to understand who you're producing for. All these questions that we've gone over, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, seem simple. Yet they're very, very difficult because scarcity is occurring and it's hard to know exactly what people think. So every society has to answer these questions. We'll get into different economic systems as countries and governments have decided ways to answer them for people. And at the same time, too, we'll talk about how businesses have tried to answer them as well throughout our course. So make sure you remember these because these questions will be coming back up. Hopefully this video helped you better understand the three basic economic questions.
Drugi, temeljna gospodarska pitanja. U svakom obliku gospodarstva postoje 3 temeljna gospodarska pitanja. Što, kako i za koga proizvoditi? Svaki gospodarski subjekt, privatni poduzetnik, poduzeće, država, mora na njih odgovoriti. Prvi. Prvi. Što proizvoditi? Riječ je o odluci pojedinca, društva ili države o tome koja će se dobra proizvesti i u kojoj količini. Na primjer, hoćemo li proizvesti više poljoprivrednih ili industrijskih proizvoda, koliko više jednih, a koliko manje drugih. Drugi. Kako proizvoditi? Riječ je o odluci tko će realizirati proizvodnju, kojom tehnologijom, iz kojeg izvora i kojim čimbenikom proizvodnje. Na primjer, koliki je broj ljudi potreban u poljoprivredi, a koliki u obrazovanju, hoće li se struja proizvoditi iz energije prirode ili umjetno, hoće li se vinograd obrađivati ručno ili strojno i tako dalje. Zatvorena zagrada. Treći. Za koga proizvoditi? Riječ je o odluci i procjeni tko će ono što je proizvedeno kupiti i kome su proizvodi ili usluga namijenjeni kao kupcu ili korisniku. Recimo, hoće li ih moći kupiti samo oni s višom ili i oni s nižom kupovnom moći i tako dalje. Zatvorena zagrada. Točka. Pitanja za provjeru znanja. Prvi. Što podrazumijevamo pod terminom temeljni gospodarski problemi? Drugi. Što su ekonomska dobra i kako se dijele? Treći. Koja su 3 čimbenika proizvodnje? Četvrti. Objasni što je oportunitetni trošak. Peti. Navedi i objasni 3 temeljna gospodarska pitanja.